Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. Awesome news for Ukrainian side. Kerch Bridge that is used to connect the Russian territory with Crimea, temporarily occupied by Russians, been severely damaged today by sabotage attack. It is the first video that was filmed this morning at 6 a.m. I was sleeping by that time. Still we have the sunrise, beautiful weather, awesome, and it's been reported that it was the fire of a train on the Kerch Bridge. Kerch Bridge has two lines. One is the railroad and the other one is the simple highway. The railway bridge is more robust and it has very hard built columns. The road is much more lighter and I would say more vulnerable to the sabotage. Locals heard the loud explosion at first and decided that the train got fire and some of the part of the train just exploded and fire spread across the railroad. My friends, before we continue, let me tell you a couple of words about the sponsor of today's video. And the sponsor for today's video is Atlas VPN. After my first YouTube channel Pilot Blog was hacked a few years ago, I started to put my eyes close on securing of my digital data. I tried many VPNs and decided to stop on Atlas VPN. Basically, they have what I need: fantastic coding of the military standard data encryption, awesome speed. No matter what internet connection do I use, it has never been slowed down when I turn on the Atlas VPN. Actually, it's constantly on. I use it on my iPad, my iPhone and my laptop. And I can access that from the single account. They really have the good support of the multiple devices. I'm not the native English speaker, so then I want to study some English. I usually go to Netflix to watch the Friends series, but somehow it's not available here, so I switch the Atlas VPN on to watch my favorite series. They have fantastic dialogues, good for studying. By changing my virtual location using Atlas VPN, I may search also for the discounts on some of the services, for example, Booking. For some of the countries they have huge discounts and I can choose whatever country I want. My friends, I highly recommend you to join the 3 years plan for just $199 per month and you'll have 82% of discount. That is what I got. There is no risk for you, my friends, because if somehow you won't like it, there is the option for 30 days money back guarantee. But I personally like it and I just can't imagine modern digital life without using VPN. And for me, the Atlas VPN is the best out there. Recently my channel got demonetized, so Atlas VPN, thank you so much for sponsoring my content and supporting Denis Davidov channel. At first we got the footages from eyewitnesses from the land, but later on we got them from the action scene itself, probably from the drivers. The drivers who tried to cross the bridge were unable to do it because the part of the bridge just collapsed into the water. Here we have the devastation, the big hole, and the part of the bridge just collapsed into this water. And here we have the other part of the road, which is more or less okay, and now it's been used to provide some kind of supplies for Crimea and out of Crimea as well. Those carriages carried fuel and they just burst into flames, and we'll see more videos about it. What is interesting that the bridge collapsed into two of the places. It means that there were two of the possible explosion points. And this is the explosion itself, CCTV camera, and here you will see the big, huge explosion. The Russian side continued to say that it was the explosion of the big lorry, or you may call it truck, that was ongoing by the time through the bridge. I hope you will see it on a video. So this truck, they say, exploded. We're going to see the video once again. I wouldn't say so because I think explosion was more to the right and it hit the water also, and we'll see more parts of other videos saying that possibly it wasn't the track. Let's watch it once again. So here we have the military track, I am almost sure about it, and Russia uses this bridge for the military supplies of Kherson region and Crimea itself, and also Mariupol, Melitopol. And here's just a huge explosion, devastating all around, and the train nearby. Russia continued to tell about the track, but actually they have, or they should have, the X-ray scanners for the tracks before they go to Crimea. Those things should be mandatory. Whether the check of the track was done correctly, so far we don't know. This is how this scanner looks like. So each track should go under the scan before attending the bridge. That is what the operator sees inside the track. We have the video directly from the hotspot, and you see the huge devastation of the bridge. However, here you can see that this part is almost intact, so good design of the bridge. I would say that it may be separated into some of the pieces, so if you lose one part of the road, still the other one is available for the transportation. You can see how they divide it into two parts. And now Russia uses this line for the supplies, and they may say that the bridge is not being destroyed, it was damaged. And here you can see that the railway line also got some of the damage. It just melted partially, and if it's concrete, I don't know what that part is made out of. If it's concrete, it also has the metal inside, the reinforcement tubes. I don't know how you call them in English. We call them armatura. So if the fire was severe, if the temperature rose up very high, those roads could have been melted, reducing the rigidity of this construction, and probably this part could not be used any longer to support the heavy loads delivered by train to the Russian side. Or probably this part is just pure metal, and then they can replace this part quite easily. I would say that this bridge really sustained dramatic damage, but the main idea, my friends, that it was targeted, it was severely damaged, and Russia would need to use lots of resources to restore this one. And we also speak about the other damage to Russian Federation, the moral damage. Obviously, we have lots of memes connected to that bridge, everything. This is the truck that Russia blamed for the devastation of the bridge, and the driver itself claimed to be unguilty, and he didn't know about the cargo he carried, and they say that he took this cargo from the internet provider, something, and he went across the bridge. And this is the video of the CCTV cam. Sorry about those wear marks. So this is the track that was on that particular hotspot, the explosion. So far we know about, I think, 3 casualties, 3 people who lost their lives on the bridge, and yet we don't know what caused that explosion, my friends. And probably it's internal Russian fight between the intelligence services, between the military command, between Kadyrov and Prigozhin, the private military campaign leader. It could be the action of some of those guys, and also it could be the action of the Ukrainian part, who knows, because Saki airport was targeted from a very long distance by some sort of the rockets. We don't know what types of those rockets are. And here the bridge was targeted also from the long distance, many hundreds kilometers away, because Ukrainian controlled territory is quite far. So we don't know what caused that explosion so far. And here's one more video. I don't know whether you will be able to see it. So here are some of the splashes just before the bridge attack, let's say. So splashes and explosions. Some experts say that it was just a rocket that landed and exploded just a few seconds after, or a few milliseconds after. And I think it could be just a wave because it was kind of stormy, and boom, explosion from this side. It was not as much as from that side. Obviously locals just went to the markets because it's the major supply line for Russians, and they afraid that they will not get enough food, so they went to the markets to grab sugar, everything. And basically that's what we did after the war had started here in Ukraine on 24th of February. We also fled to the markets, buying all of that food I think they will have supplies because they also have ferries. So the bridge was very important, and it is very important. But still, they have the backup source are those ferries that go from one shore to another. Interesting. The Times article: Ukraine war could be over by Christmas. Say military experts. Well, I wouldn't trust military experts because before this war started, they say like Ukraine will lose in 3 days or something. So now they say that Ukraine will win that fast. I do not believe in that. I think we're still gonna fight in 2023 and maybe 2024. Russian reaction on the Kerch Bridge attack. You can see they carry Sarmat rocket and they are saying bomb Washington. So they want some sort of reaction, and they blame Washington for everything. Washington and NATO, I mean United States and NATO. They say that they do not fight against Ukraine, they fight in Ukraine against NATO. And they were brainwashed. That is why they blame United States of America for everything, and they want to nuke Washington. Also, we got the information that in Russia there are some of the arrests of the military guys who were responsible for something, and now Putin put the intelligence service, the FSB, to protect the Kerch Bridge before militia or police was responsible for that. They also call it Ruzzia, but those are internal militia forces. Now they gonna put intelligence services to protect the bridge, and probably the clashes may go, as I said to you, between military guys, intelligence, Kadyrovs, police, and everything. Kerch Bridge was not the only thing that got fired today. This is the main railway station near to Mariupol that was under attack by Ukrainian forces, and we demolished the supply center for Russians. They want to bypass now the Kerch Bridge, and they want to send reinforcements from Rostov-on-Don just through Mariupol and other places. That is why for Ukrainian side it's very important to locate and destroy the hotspots of their supplies. So this is the bridge after the road, the part of the road was open, one line actually. So here we go, cars may just go, and here we have just collapsed bridge. I would admit that construction of that bridge is quite interesting and reliable, as I said to you. So you can see this part just collapsed. Yeah, and this part is quite okay for the cars to travel, so kind of nice project, I would say. And here we have the satellite image. So this is before, and this was taken this morning. I'm sure that this image is correct. You don't see all the details, but we can see the spot where the bridge was hit. Today we also hit a Russian attack helicopter K-52. You can see the remains of that one. Also day for Ukrainian armed forces and Ukraine itself. And we got this RIA Novosti, Russian media, saying that the railroad connection is already been restored through the Kerch Bridge. So I would say that the devastation was very severe. It looked fantastic. It destroyed the part of the bridge, but what it destroyed the most is the competence of Russia to protect its own critical objects, because before they said that this is the most protective object in the world. A new post stamp will be released very soon showing the part of the bridge and scene from Titanic. I would say it's a little bit early to release that stamp, because if Russian side is right about the connection, the railroad connection that was restored, my friends, in that case the bridge didn't sustain dramatic damages. So the main thing is to cut the railroad, because the Russian side uses railroads to send their reinforcements elsewhere. So the highways are secondary, and about the highway, it's still operational. Yes, limited capacity, but still it can work. So connection between Crimea and Russia still exists, and I hope it's temporary. Alright, my friends, about the situation on the front lines, here you can see almost no changes Just recently we got some of the confirmed territory. Ternopil body that was taken by Ukrainian forces, and it means that we start our counterattack also from Mykolaiv direction. Before it was from this side. Well, Russian forces successfully regrouped themselves and now put more reinforcements to that area. That is why our offensive a little bit slowed down, and we are waiting for also reinforcements from Ukrainian side as well. So from the south part there are no big news. Antonovsky Bridge yesterday was under one more attack. HIMARS rocket artillery systems are used for that. Here situation, let's look at it, also without changes, and probably I do expect some of the movement after today's attack on a Kerch Bridge, but here I think it's one of the most vulnerable spots for that bridge. So that attack, I'm sure 100% that it was sabotage, but what caused that, who was responsible for that, so far no one knows. Probably tomorrow we'll have more information, and I'm a little bit scared about it because they will try to revenge, so Putin will have to do something. And I'm here near to the Kiev. Probably they're gonna attack some of the infrastructural objects. Their propaganda channels already say that they should attack those bridges across the Dnieper River in Kiev city itself. However, we have many of them over here, also railroad bridges, and those can be attacked by Iranian drones that Russian army nowadays have in their arsenal. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation here in Ukraine, and now please don't forget to check the link for Atlas VPN in a video description just below. Those guys are awesome, they support my channel and they produce a great product, so I'm very proud to have them on my channel. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.